Hey everybody, Nick Espinosa, your chief security fanatic here, and today we have to once again talk about TikTok because almost half of adults want TikTok banned. Now, I think that's actually a really interesting number, and outside of that, we have seen several states ban it. Recently, New York City came down and said no more TikTok on city-owned devices effective immediately, and so this has had some momentum, even though it kind of hasn't. Now, I think this is interesting. It's coming from Reuters, and here's what's going on in the latest chapter of the TikTok saga, and for the record, I'm all for banning this horrible, horrible app. Now, TikTok, if you didn't know, is owned by Chinese tech giant ByteDance, and it's used by tens of millions of Americans, and I'm talking to Americans today regarding this poll. It's faced basically numerous calls from U.S. lawmakers for a nationwide ban over concerns about possible Chinese government influence. I recently did a video in the last week or two, video/podcast, / radio show segment on this, that basically there is proof and evidence that the Chinese government is pushing Chinese government propaganda through TikTok, and that was discovered all throughout the European Union. And so this obviously is a platform that is beholden to the Chinese government and has that ability. And so obviously there are calls for this. But here's some interesting new news. Some 40% of respondents to a 2-day poll, which concluded this past Tuesday, said that they at least somewhat supported, quote, banning the social media application TikTok from use in the United States. On top of this, 36% opposed the ban and 17% said they didn't know, meaning essentially, the majority is all for this. That's 47%, which means there's enough votes, including the Electoral College, if it's in play, to actually pass this thing. Now, 58% of Republicans favored this ban compared to 47% of Democrats. So even on the Democrat side, there's about 50%, just over 50% of the Republican. So we are looking pretty much at a pretty healthy consensus here that this is a serious threat to the United States. And I'm going to go into that briefly. Now, the survey also revealed deep worries among Americans about China's global influence at a time when U.S.-Chinese relations aren't exactly the best. They're kind of at a low point right now. Now, this online poll was conducted by Reuters and Ipsos, and it was conducted nationwide and collected responses from 1,005 adults, including 443 Democrats, 346 Republicans, and there you go. It has a credibility interview, for the record, of plus or minus 4 percentage points, and so there you go. This is actually a pretty good tell. Now, FBI, if you didn't know, Director Christopher Wray said back in March that China's government could use TikTok to control software on millions of devices and drive narratives to divide Americans, adding that the app screams, quote unquote, of national security concerns. I've done multiple videos, podcasts, radio segments written on this, etc., etc. I completely agree with Christopher Wray, as I do CIA Director William Burns, who said that TikTok also poses a threat. Now, efforts to give the Biden administration new powers to ban TikTok have stalled in Congress. Last month, U.S. lawmakers said they were considering changes to address concerns about the bill, but we're hoping that this obviously gets pushed through. Now, I am all for basically open platforms, free speech, those kinds of things, but when you have one that is not essentially free and open, the intent is directed by a foreign government, that is of deep concern. And if you go back and look at the litany of sins and violations of data mining, data privacy, essentially there have been 2 independent outfits that have looked at this and said, yeah, there's so many backdoors and holes in this software that it could be used for data exfiltration, for surveillance, for all those different kinds of things. This is a huge, huge issue. Not to mention the fact, the deleterious effect that this has is people just doom scroll through TikTok all the time. China, in their own country, for their youth, basically put intentional limits on TikTok called Douyin in their country, and basically promoted educational stuff to kids, whereas kids here in the United States, European Union, and other places simply didn't have that. You could sit up there on there all day looking at stupid challenges and stupid videos, and that's obviously a very serious thing. And so this essentially looks like it's been weaponized by the Chinese government. As I said, I've also done basically segments on this regarding the propaganda that the Chinese government has put through, whether it's on the Uyghurs or any other basically black eye that China has on the international human rights level. So I think this basically needs good hard scrutiny. I think this needs to be filtered. I would never use this app to save my life. I don't have an account there. I have no desire to have an account there. And if I did have an account there, the only things that I would push are videos like this telling you to leave TikTok, and leave TikTok you should. And so that is your news of the day. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. Well, yes, you will be data mined, but we have recourse under U.S. law, unlike TikTok. Same with YouTube, because I always get that comment, well, what about Facebook? Yeah, Facebook sucks too. It just sucks in a different way, and it's not beholden to a foreign government. And please, 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 stay safe, stay online, and just please attempt to stay private. Thanks, everybody.